Hey guys, it's Kyle here from the Cackling Jackal. I'm here today with a brand new series to debut on our channel called 5 Minute Craft. And today I'm going to show you how to make some of this super easy homemade flocking for you to use in your D&D and other tabletop games. Alright, let's just head to the workshop and get started. Alright guys, so this is where we're going to start. So what I've got here is I've just got a bunch of sawdust that I've collected from my offcuts of all my MDF wood. And I've just put it through my sieve. As you can see, it's a little bit green. Just picked up a cheap one from the reject shop for like $5. You don't need anything fancy. Now for this, I'm using sawdust. You could use sand or any other fine particulate. I find sawdust is a little bit better. Has more of a flocky texture to it. But use whatever's available to you. That's the whole point of this show. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to mix up a mixture of paint and water and get the right viscosity, and then we'll mix them together. Alright, and we're back. So what I've got here is everything that we're going to need for this part. So we've got our sawdust, we've got another mixing bowl, got a glass of water, we've got some green paint, and mixing stick. So very simple. All we're going to do is we're going to put a bit of green paint into here. Decent amount for how much sawdust you've got. Add the water. And we'll mix it together. Alright. Basically the kind of viscosity, the kind of thickness that we want with the paint is we want to be able to do that, get the water up on the side, and for it to slowly basically trickle back down to the bottom off the side. So there should be a certain thickness to it. When I get it right, I'll make sure to show you guys. It's really hard to tell, kind of. It's just mostly a see as you go sort of thing, and we're going to be adding more paint and water as we go anyway, so it's not quite thick enough, so add a bit more paint. This is just some cheap acrylic paint I picked up from Officeworks or anything like that. Alright, mix that back up. Test. See, that's a lot better. That's slowly leaking back down into the container. Very slowly. That's getting a little bit better to what we want. So we'll mix that up a little bit more. Alright, and that's about what we want. So what we're going to do now is going to move some of the superfluous stuff out of the way. Nice clean workbench. And we're going to add some of the sawdust, just little bits at a time. And then we just mix that through. Alright, pretty well mixed. Let's add some more. And basically, we're just going to keep mixing and adding more until we get the right type of ratio. And bring you back when we have that ratio. Alright guys, and we're back. So I've got it mixed up to the texture that I want it to be. Sort of just this crumbly, it's almost like cookie dough or anything, like, you know, making homemade cupcakes, homemade biscuits, just as if you mix the right amount of flour and water and all those other materials. Just be aware this project can get a little bit messy, as you can see here. But yeah. Once we've got it to this stage here, don't worry too much if it clumps up, because we're going to run it through the sieve again. But once it's in this stage, what we got to do is lay it out flat, out in the sun, and let it dry. Alright, so I have it laid out flat. Looks a little suspicious like this. But yeah, lying out flat, just get a nice even sort of layer. I just got some spare MDF board that I've been using. I'm just going to leave it in the sun for an hour or two, just a little bit of time while I work on some other projects. The drier it is, when you run it through the sieve, the better you're going to get. If you're just looking for a coarse sort of flocking, use this stuff. This stuff is good. It creates little bushes, little mounds of grass. But if you're looking for some of the finer stuff, stay tuned. We'll get to that soon. Alright, so we're back. We've got some of this dried flocking, some of the particulate. It's quite well dried. It's been maybe an hour and a half. It's quite a sunny day outside. Maybe it'll focus. There we go. Just like that. So now that we've got this, we'll go grab our bucket, grab our sieve, and here comes the fun and messy part. So we're just going to grab a handful of the particulate. Now with the sieve that I got, it's a really fine sort of mesh. So if you have quite a large one, you may be able to just sort of do this sort of motion. Make sure your bucket's empty, that helps. But basically, what we're going to do is just going to get our fingers in here and we're just going to squash it into the mesh. This will help break up the clumps that we've got here and also start meshing it, or pushing it through the mesh. Now, because we have such a fine mesh, it's not going to go all the way through. What we are going to have to do is every now and again, you can see there are some little tiny bits, but every now and again we just kind of bash the bottom of the sieve. And you can see at the very bottom we got some fine, basically green sawdust flocking. So just rinse and repeat. Just keep going. Every now and again, just kind of rub your hands along the bottom of the sieve, get some of that particulate that's there, and rinse and repeat. Okay, so we've run the particulate through a sieve. This is the stuff that's only been run through once, so it's relatively coarse. As you can see, I've got a decent amount of it. Don't worry about too much about the chunks, because when you pick it up to sprinkle it, it's mostly going to fall away anyway. Like that. And then I just ran some through a couple of times. Focus it there. And you can see it created a much finer particulate. So that's relatively simple to make. Just run it through a couple of times. So what we're going to do here is I've got the base of a tree. And we're going to apply some of the flocking to it. So we'll put a bit of glue on. Just using a bit of normal white PVA glue for this, wood glue. Spread it out. And then apply some of the flocking. Just grab a handful and apply it on there, spread it out. And just tip the excess back in. See there, got a nice covering of the flocking. Just scrape away the excess, let that dry. Let's apply some of the smaller stuff as well, maybe to this side. And then apply some of the thinner stuff. Again, spread that out. There we go. Alright, and there we have it, guys. So I have glued some more of the flocking on, let it all dry, scraped off the excess, and then I went over it with a lighter green, just with a dry brush, just to give it a little bit of a highlighted effect. I think it turned out quite well. And then I've just gone over it with a matte spray to seal it all and to help protect it from just general use and play. Now this show is called 5 Minute Craft, and even though a lot of these elements did take a little bit to mix the paint, to let the flocking dry, the actual crafting itself only takes about 5 minutes. You can pre-make a bunch of the flocking and have it prepared for next time you ever need it. Anyway guys, I think that'll do us for today. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like. By liking the content you enjoy, you are ensuring that the Cackling Jackal continues to produce it. Thank you very much, guys. We'll see you next time at the Cackling Jackal. Yeah, I do. No, I'm talking in this one.